How's it going, everybody? I'm Michael Allen, and this is the Movie Minute. This week, we're checking out Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and boy, am I excited to talk about it. Before we jump in, really quick, I'm 10 subs away from 100 subs. Would love for you to sub, click that like button, and come on this journey with me. So let's go talk some Guardians. Okay, so I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and oh man, what a blast. Let me just preface this by saying Guardians is like my favorite of the MCU, truly. Like, I really just love Guardians of the Galaxy. I love so much about it. Feel like Gunn's done an amazing job. This is Gunn's final installment in the Guardians series, and so this is his last hurrah. First and foremost, let me just say, James Gunn is just an entertainer, man. He is just so good at entertaining. He knows what an entertaining movie is, and this movie is that. And let's just jump into the things that I loved about the film. First and foremost, I mean, the characters. It's kind of a given, but there's something so special about these characters. I think it's because, especially with the MCU in general, like, we know them. We know these characters. We know their stories. We know what they're dealing with, what they're struggling with, what they're going through. They're so real and relatable. And that is on full display in this movie. It's kind of a culmination of a lot of these journeys, these character journeys, and it's just so well done in terms of wrapping up these characters' journeys. And so that was just amazing. And then on top of that, like, the performances are all just incredible. The actors know these characters. They've been doing this for over a decade. It's like, and it shows. I mean, it's so impactful watching just the chemistry between every single actor on screen. And I will say too, what lends to that, what I love as well, is like the writing is just amazing. The dialogue, it's so witty. The banter is so good. It's so natural. It almost feels like it's hard to imagine it being written. It feels real and organic. And that is just, it's hard to achieve that. That's only something you can achieve when you've invested in characters over a long period of time like Gunn has. And so that really shined. I also just want to give a shout out to Chikwadi Iwuji as the High Evolutionary. Man, his performance was so dynamic. He was so good, so captivating and evil, but it was just amazing. Great performance. Really loved his addition to this story and to this film. I also really loved the locations. Like, everything in this series is just so imaginative, so vibrant. Just every location is so expertly crafted in this film, and it's just a joy, like, traveling around the universe with these people. And then, I mean, on a final note of what I loved, really, these films are great because of the heart. Like, the heart in this film is so strong, and that's something special that we don't get a lot in movies, like this deep heart behind the story, behind the characters. Like, it's just something special, and it's so well done in this movie. I know that at one point in our lives, all of us have felt like outcasts and are looking for family and looking for somewhere where we belong. And this film so expertly captures that idea of being an outcast, but finding a family that loves you and cares for you. And it's just so touching and heartwarming, and Gunn just nails it right on the head. I mean, he knocks it out of the park in terms of heart. So let's just talk about a couple things that I didn't like. It's not a lot, but there were a few things. There were a few clunky moments in the film. I think there were some scenes that could have honestly been cut. Not very many, but a few that just really kind of distracted me from the narrative and from the flow of the film. I'll also say, I know this has been of criticism lately within the Marvel world, but there were some VFX issues in this movie that I noticed from a filmmaking standpoint. So it's just mind-boggling that you'd spend so much money on a movie like this, and there would still be these moments that, like VFX moments, that kind of remove me from the suspension of disbelief and make me feel like, oh, why didn't they clean that up? And so that was a little bit disappointing. Let's just jump into ratings. From an entertainment standpoint, I mean, this film is a solid 9. Like, I almost gave it a 10, but I didn't because there's a few of the clunky moments, but solid 9 on the entertainment score. From a critic standpoint, filmmaking, I'd give it an 8 just because of those clunkiness moments and the VFX stuff that kind of pulled it down, and just the overall narrative of just some of those bumps kind of knocked it down for me. But overall, I mean, an 8 super solid. So overall, my score for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is an 8.5 out of 10. I really, really did enjoy the film. It was so fun. And so for a badge, I give it a solid popcorn bucket. I mean, this film is worthy of a theater experience. I know so many are burnt out on the Marvel universe now, but this film, if you've been with the MCU since the beginning, since Guardians, this film is so good. It's so worth it. It's such a great payoff. You leave the theater feeling so like happy for these characters. And that is, I mean, that's movie making at its best. When you leave the theater and you're feeling just like, wow, I am so glad I got to know these characters. That's the biggest win, I think, that I can say about cinema. And so I loved it. I really did really love it. So I highly encourage you, get to the theater this weekend, see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and we can talk about it. Sound off in the comments. Let me know if you saw it. Tell me what you liked about it, but let's be good and do no spoilers in the comments. But I'd love to hear how you guys felt about the film. And so until next time, peace out.